Hi everyone! I know it's been, I think, a month. We just call that getting your heart broken. Just kind of going through the motions, honestly. I didn't realize how long it would take. I'm still not over it. We're taking one step at a time, but I honestly have missed filming so much. So I'm so glad to be back filming. And what do I know best being autistic? As an autistic bitch, I feel like one of the things that as an autistic person I deal with constantly is people pleasing. If you're watching this and you're autistic, hi, do you deal with this too? Because I feel like, especially with this breakup and just been thinking about everything, people pleasing has honestly been such a factor in my life that it's kind of ended up to some degree of controlled it, and it's just something that I just really want to get off my chest. So if you don't know what people pleasing is, basically people pleasing is kind of the idea that like you will go out of your way and do everything for everyone to please them in a way and to make them feel comfortable and to make them feel safe or to do whatever despite your own needs and despite what you need as a person. Now, there is a difference between being considerate and being caring and compromising and people pleasing to such an extreme. And I feel like for me as an autistic person, that line of where it kind of goes jumps quick from being considerate to doing stuff for others and doing everything for everyone else apart from me. And it feels like it's exhausting, honestly. And it does affect, honestly, so many parts of life. I think I literally cried about it. Like I had a really, really down day about it kind of during this period where I literally was just in bed being really, really sad because I was realizing how much of a people pleaser I can be. And I feel like what the heck is that? As an autistic person and as a neurodivergent person, it's quite difficult to sometimes distinguish that. There's multiple reasons why, in my opinion. One, there's kind of like black and white thinking without having that gray scale. I don't know what it's called, and sometimes I feel like that's what I really struggle, is having that gray area in between and figuring out what is actually the best for me. I don't know, it sometimes can be really difficult. Also, my second thing, which this might be a me struggle, but sometimes feeling like if I don't do everything for everyone, then I feel like I'm a bad person. This could be in terms of internalized ableism because people class you as a bad kid when you have like a meltdown or a shutdown or have sensory overload or anything like that. They instantly label you as bad. I don't know, maybe that's another thing I feel like that autistic people go through a lot. And thirdly, and I don't know if this is not for every autistic, of course, because every autistic is different and it's a spectrum, like the heightened empathy, because you want to make the people that you love and the people around you, and also just in general, just people in general, you want to be there for them and you want to care for them and make sure that they're having a good day. You'll do anything in order to make sure that they do have a good day over yourself, or that they feel comfortable versus you, or blame yourself for stuff that simply is out of your control or that simply isn't your fault. I feel like that's something I really struggle with at moments. Two other reasons that I thought of. Firstly, because our society teaches us that to be a good person, you must be considerate and caring and care for others, which, do not get me wrong, as I said in the beginning, that's not a bad thing, and obviously to be considerate human is good, but because of the next reason, which is that we don't know when limits are, and because social norms and stuff like that. Like, neurotypical people find them confusing anyway, because this isn't just a autistic struggle. Neurotypical people struggle with people pleasing. So imagine being an autistic person and not knowing when to stop and not knowing when you are exhausting yourself and you push your limits so far. Partly also because a neurotypical society says that you shall have to continue. Because of those things, you're just tired by the end of it and you're just honestly exhausted. And last reason, ableism. Like, I can't believe I didn't say this. Ableism, forcing so many autistic people to mask and then feeling like they have to please others because if we don't, then we're ostracized and kicked out of society. And it honestly really puts our self-esteem down. So we're just exhausted by the end of it and feeling like if we don't please others and we don't mask our autistic traits and we don't fit into a neurotypical society, then honestly, we're going to be kicked out and no one will love us. That was really sad. Yeah, you just feel like you have to put your whole identity for others. And I feel like what doesn't also help is online sometimes, like having so many different voices come at you with their thoughts and opinions and the way they work. As much as you can create your feed, the moment you go to that explore page, you have everyone's thoughts. Oftentimes neglects on the neurodivergent voice, I feel like. Of course, like not every person can talk about the neurodiverse experience because not everyone has the neurodiverse experience, but it doesn't help that social media is also a very literal place and there's little less ambiguity or not much context is given, and so it can be really just a struggle bus, honestly, just to try and like figure out what you want to do in life. Like it's so confusing and you just feel like you have to put other people's needs before yours, because maybe, I guess this is another reason for me, is that you don't know when you're gonna need those people, and it feels like you have to almost give yourself a reason to have that support. Just saying it out loud makes me sad because that's not it. You are allowed to have support, like just by being yourself is enough, but I guess to some people it isn't. It's just a really big struggle, honestly, and trying to figure out our own identity in a world that is going technically against us. Like this world isn't 100%, if not mostly, designed for neurodivergent people and autistic people, and so it can be such a struggle to even like unmask or to feel comfortable to unmask and to feel like you have pride within yourself. And it's just really confusing, honestly, in general. It really is, because in a world that is so based upon people pleasing and about likes and about community and being with people, the only explanation that in sometimes my eyes makes sense is people pleasing. So you are able to be liked, so you are able to be with people, and so you are able to like feel connected with them, and so you don't feel like an outsider, so you don't feel like you're left outside the crowd. I think this happened a lot during school, like primary and secondary and sixth form, where I was kind of just like left outside, and no matter what I did to please others, it wouldn't work, and I was just always the outsider. And I guess as an adult as well, there have definitely been moments where I try my best to do stuff for others, and I will do everything in my power to help and to please and to take care of others, but it just simply isn't enough, and it's really hard. The world basically just tells you that sometimes, to me at least, you're either too much or you're not enough for everyone. It neglects who you actually are. It really does, and it's so emotionally destroying and so draining and just heartbreaking. Honestly, it's so heartbreaking to be in a world where you feel like you can't be your true self fully and authentically, and where you struggle between that. I don't want this video to just be sad, because I'm exhausted with being sad. I have been sad for so long, for this like past month, like on and off, and even this week I've been really like, I had a really low period, and it's emotionally draining and it just sucks. And I want to try and make myself feel as good as possible, and I want to try and make myself feel as comfortable as possible, and I want to make myself feel seen within myself. Like I don't know, I deserve that, you know? And I feel like me trying to people please everyone neglects that, and it stops me from doing what I love and becoming who I want to be as an adult. It really does, and it's just something that I'm so tired of not allowing myself just to be me. And I'm not saying that previously I've been faking or pretending, oh my god, no. It's just like I want to feel free to be myself even more and even more and even more. Like I want to continue to grow and develop and figure out what I like and what I don't, and what I feel comfortable wearing, what I feel like is part of my expression, what I feel like is part of who I am. And I want to make sure that my needs are met, and my needs that are important, and they are important. Your needs are important. If you need a stim toy, babe, go and get a stim toy. I recently made an online friend, Nathan, if you're watching this, hey bud, and we met, and he gave me a stim toy. I have not realized how much this has actually just helped me within the world, like existing, especially now also working, because that your boy has a full-time job now. And honestly, fidgeting with this helps me to concentrate, especially in meetings, because sometimes I feel like I can just drift off, or that I just feel angsty, like I feel like I have to move, and this just helps me calm my body down and makes me feel just so much more at peace. And it honestly really does help with the train as well, going into work and all that stuff, because it just, again, it helps calm me down and everything. I've had examples where my freedom of expression, or basically being me, has been such a blessing to others, and also blessings to myself. Yes, I know outside validation, you don't need it, it's about you, yeah, whatever, like, I get it, but like, you know when there's like little moments where someone just comes up to you and they say something really nice and it just makes your day? It's like that. Just by you being you, you don't know who you're affecting in a good way. I think for me, just throughout this period of this heartbreak, and honestly other stuff in life as well that's just really affected me heavily, just some things I've been like realizing and learning that I'm trying to learn myself and take forward. And these are lessons that or even reminders I feel like I want to just like say to another autistic out there, because I know this isn't just me dealing with this stuff. And I want to deep dive into each one a little bit. So reminders if you feel like you have to people please. Number one, you deserve to take up space. Yes, you deserve to take up space. You deserve to take up room. You deserve to be there. No matter what. You being in that place, you being there, you being you, deserves to be in any room, deserves to be absolutely anywhere, because you're a human being. I know this can kind of get into like also imposter syndrome as well, but like you deserve to be there because you're talented. Like if it's for work or something, you worked hard to get that position, especially in the job market right now. If it's because of the way you want to dress, like you deserve to be there because not only because other people dress the way they want to dress, but also like you deserve that because you deserve to take up room in yourself. Like you don't have to cower yourself away. You don't have to stop yourself from being you. Like, and of course, also another thing I have to say, I know there's a time and place for this stuff as well. Like I know not every single scenario, especially it's safe to. I completely understand that. Of course, this is in terms of safety. Like if you're in a safe environment or whatever, like of course, but you deserve to be yourself, and that means you are going to take up room in a space, and that's okay. And the good thing is about taking up room, if you feel like you feel unsafe, you don't feel worthy, you feel like these people aren't good for you, you can always leave and take a break. Like I feel like I even have to say this sometimes as well. Like even if it's like good people that you love and you care about, but it's just overwhelming at times and it's so heavy, like mentally heavy, you can take a break because again, you're a human being, you have needs, you have wants, you have accommodations, especially as an autistic person. You have stuff that you are going to need help accommodating. Our life is going to look different compared to a neurotypical person. Our social batteries aren't going to be the same. Our sensory needs aren't going to be the same. Even amongst other neurodivergent people, our sensory needs aren't going to be the same. Who we are isn't going to be the same because it's a spectrum. We're not all going to be the same person, and that's okay. Make sure that you take care of you. Also, I guess sometimes on the tip, like you deserve to take care of yourself. I have an idea of why I think we are so hard on ourselves, and that's because we are the only person truly who experiences every single thought we have in our head, positive and negative. We are the only person that experiences all the good and bad days that we have. You as an individual, you go through all the same individual trauma and handle it the way that you do. Your brain works differently compared to someone else who has that same trauma or the same responses or the same style. You all are different people at the end of the day. I think it's so hard to be on ourselves when the world is telling you, especially the neurotypical world is telling you to do better, to survive longer. It's really hard not to put it onto ourselves. It's tough not to blame yourself and hate the way that you are, or to hate being autistic, or just want to be normal. It's so difficult not to. Believe me, I know that. And that you just feel not good enough for the world. I've definitely had nights like that. But I want to remind you that you are good enough, that you are worthy of everything you want in life, and that you're not a bad person. You are enough because you're you. A concept, I know. You are you, and that is perfectly good enough. Like, you are you, and you are taking it every day as it comes, and that is perfectly fine. There are certain things that you are going to have to need, especially because, again, we have a disability. We're gonna need things that other people aren't gonna need. And I think the last perspective I would say is like, you wouldn't do this to a friend. If a friend was going through the same things, hopefully you wouldn't do that to them. So why be hard on yourself and feel like you have to please everyone? And thirdly, if you were an outside source looking in, what would you tell yourself? I don't know, I feel like that sometimes it's a really good way to reflect and think about the way you act. It does really help you like sometimes stop, because you really do realize that You deserve to be there as much as everyone else. And you are loved for who you are. And you are an amazing person because you are you. Even writing down what you're grateful for. I know that's corny as fuck, but it does really help. It's not gonna make you suddenly feel chipper and better, but it grounds you at least to make you feel like, okay, well, there's stuff that's still good in my life. Even if it's something small, like especially if you're having a rough day, like I can listen to music because not everyone can listen to music. Like I have the ability to rest because not everyone has that ability to rest. I can speak, I can do things. Whatever you come up with, that is powerful. And I just want to take a moment to say like, yeah, you're loved for you. Please don't feel like you have to please the world. Please don't feel like you have to exhaust yourself for every single person out there. You don't. If you're out there pleasing other people, who's gonna be out there pleasing you? So you might as well start by pleasing yourself. And I know personally I'm still struggling with this and I'm gonna take every day as it comes. I'm not perfect, but I want this video to almost be a reminder to myself, like, babe, you got this. Please take care of yourself because it's the most important thing. That actually was really nice and I can't wait to be more back on YouTube. Believe me, we have content coming up, so be excited. I miss y'all and I can't wait to see you in 2 weeks time. Bye everyone.